I posted a story yesterday asking for questions regarding dropshipping, business, or mindset in general. I got a lot of questions. I picked out my favorite ones and we're going to discuss them today. We're also going to do a fire round. I'm just going to answer very quick questions. So yeah, let's just get started with question number one. All right, the first question. How do you make meta ads? Do you make UGC ads, or how are you doing them? Basically, it really depends on the product, of course. Some product requires very UGC kind creatives, other require other types of creatives. But generally, this is my framework. So the first batch of creatives I test for a product is basically just content ripped off TikTok, put over with an AI voiceover. There's also these AI creators that actually works very well. And that's how I launched the first test creatives. When then scaling up, then we invest back in content, back in UGC. I have 5-6 different UGC creators that I work a lot with for all my products, and that's pretty much it. So to keep it short and answering the question, the first round of creatives, you don't have to do UGC. You can just take whatever's out there. If there's none out there, don't test the product, find a different one. When you then have launched the first batch and you've seen that's proof of concept, then you can reinvest back into content. Because of course, content is the most important part of your business, but it shouldn't slow you down with the testing phase. You shouldn't invest too much time in creating content and figuring out the best content, because then I would rather test 2 products where there's content out there already. All right, next question. What's a good product hit success rate when starting out, assuming you follow your framework? It really depends a lot, because it's not really much about the product. That is only 50% of the equation, or maybe 30% of the equation. The 2 other components is the creatives and offer. So in my opinion, if you are really good at creating an amazing offer, that's probably what you need to try and learn the most. Obviously also creatives, but in terms of offers, if you would do everything that I did in the beginning, I would say probably around assuming you're a complete beginner, around 8%. I would say around that is probably the winning rate. But as soon as you get your first winner and you understand why it's a winner, like if you can analyze and break down why it's actually a winning product, or what's working in your funnel, if it's the offer, if it's the creatives, if the product in general is just carrying the whole thing. If you know exactly what it is that's working for this type of product, then you will be able to find the next product and the next product and the next product. And the more products you find, the more winners you have, the higher the winning rate are. Right now, we have probably some of the highest winning rates in the game. I don't want to disclose how high it is, but let's just say a really, really, really good dropshipper probably gets a 20% winning rate, and we are higher than that. And then you can think for yourself how high it is, but I'm not going to disclose anything. But yes, I would say 8% after a few winners, probably get up to like 10-15, but generally you can expect around 15 to 20% if you're really good. I wouldn't go higher than that, because there's a lot of different metrics on it, and I would rather have speed than trying to make every single product work, because not every single product can get scaled to 7 figures. But if you have a really, really high testing volume, you will for sure find these 7-figure products within that testing volume. So yeah, I would say 15%, 10 to 15% is probably the answer. Oh, here's a funny one. Does 360 no scope edit in the video? I'm just gonna put the edit in the video, playing Counter-Strike again a little bit in the weekends. Next question, how to run meta ads in testing phase. There's 2 ways of doing this right now. We have 2 testing strategies. The main one we're actually using is probably the easiest it's ever been. We have 1 CBO campaign, we have 6 to 9 different creatives, we have 3 ad sets. So ad set 1 is going to be creative 1 to 3, and that's going to be one angle. Then we're going to have ad set 2, creative 4 to 6. That's going to be a different angle. And then we have the third ad set, which is creative 7 to 9, which is in a different angle. Then we put them all into one big CBO, do broad countries, no interest targeting, just the countries that we are targeting. So I'm always going for the US, Canada, Australia. And that's it. Then you just let that run for 3 days. That's the laziest way of doing it. If you want to do a little bit more specific with interest, if you're not as confident in your creative skills, you can run interest targeting. I have a video on YouTube. I'll just link it somewhere here. You can see how I set it up with interest targeting. That's a little bit more annoying. It's not the easiest or more laziest way, but it works as well. But to keep it simple, do the US broad CBO. It's amazing, works very, very well. All right, next question. Mindset doing dropshipping besides school with low salary. If you have a low salary, you probably should be doing organic dropshipping, which is a little bit more cost efficient than the Facebook ads. But the whole mindset when going to school, it's hard. Of course it's hard, but it's very doable. I see a lot of people going to university, going to school that's making it work. So I would suggest for you to set up a routine. So you go to your school, then whatever you're doing just after school, and then for 2 to 3 hours a day, that's where you focus on dropshipping, and you have everything else turned off. So your phone is turned off, you only do dropshipping, you don't have anything else to disrupt your focus. even if you're just learning or if you're trying to, test products or whatever, I would have 2 to 3 hours a day minimum where you only do dropshipping, and that's the focused, like, primary work you do. And in terms of the mindset you have to do it, you just have to realize how much money there is to be made in dropshipping. Like, dropshipping is the best business model to start, it's the best business model to stay, it's the best business model to scale. It is by far one of the best business models out there, because dropshipping is just a branch of e-commerce, right? And e-commerce, that's where most of the billionaires are made. That's from e-commerce, or a lot at least. So keep your head high, keep grinding. I would probably also suggest you to get a weekend job so you can get some more money, or figure out a way to make more money on the side. Det larmer så fucking meget. Jeg kan ikke spille bold imens. Det larmer fucking meget. How important was networking for you? It's hard to say, because in the beginning, network was not the most important thing that really drives me forward. That was just buying, a coaching program. But when you're scaling up and you're starting to make money, the networking part gets more and more important, because now you have money to pay for things. But if you don't have a network, you don't have anywhere to place your money. But you have a very large network of people, or people who have contacts where you can place your money and get stuff done for you. The network part gets absolutely amazing. Luckily, I'm still in contact with Michael Bernstein, and he has an amazing network. So I get access to a bunch of different people, and also just by leveling up and making more money, I get access and find more people who reach out to me as well. And my network just expands over time. And I would say probably around 60% of the money I make now a month comes from having a very large network that I have access to, and people I can pay to get stuff done for me. So do not underestimate networking. In the beginning, it's not super important, but as time progresses and you make more money and you're leveling up, network gets increasingly more important, and you can make more and more money from having a very large network. Then a very cool question here from this: how much sales? How much is your margin? So the person is probably talking about the 14 million bucks in revenue. I don't want to disclose any margins just because of taxes. So if I say a number and it's higher or lower, it's just a mess if something. So I'm gonna say this: it's healthy. Another great question here: how much I recommend to get started on ads and succeed? So I would recommend, there's a lot of these guys online who is teaching Facebook ads, who says you can start with 500 bucks or almost nothing. And that's not true at all. You cannot start with nothing when doing Facebook ads. In my opinion, if you want to have the highest possibility of succeeding and actually finding a winning product and don't have to stress about cash as well in your business, anywhere from 3 to 5K minimum, and that's not including if you want to do coaching or a mentorship or whatever, you need 3 to 5K only to be spent on your business and ads, because there's a lot of small things that comes with it doing dropshipping. You first have to get a bank. That's probably free, but for some people it costs money. You want to open a business, most countries it's free, but some countries it costs money. You want to get Shopify, you got a free trial, but at some point you got to pay for it. You got to get the apps in Shopify, it's free trial, but sometimes you're going to pay for it. And paying for ads is very expensive. And then just cash flow in general. If you get sales, you have to be able to fulfill them. And if you don't fulfill them because you're waiting for your payouts, at some point you're going to get all your money hold, and it's just going to be devastating when you have no cash in general. So 3 to 5K bare minimum, but also suggest you to having a minimum of 500 bucks extra each single month coming in. Another great question here: how to do the work if you're tired as fuck and not motivated? I think this whole perception of motivation is you should never be motivated. Of course, motivation is great sometimes, but you should never rely fully on motivation. You should rely on building routines and systems and have discipline in your business. One of the biggest things for me that changed was when I understood that nobody is doing the work for me. I have to do it myself. If you are not willing to put in the work in your own business, you will never be able to hire people into your business that can make you money. Because in the beginning, in the first few years, it's only you. It's you and one, maybe a partner if you have a business partner, but it's a very, very few selected people that's gonna do the work. And you're gonna be heavy lifting for a very long time. So the sooner you realize motivation doesn't exist anymore. Then you just rely on discipline, and it's much easier to get the job done. I would also say if you build up a routine around dropshipping, so let's say if you're going to your job and you have 9 to 5, you come home at 5, you eat, and you are ready to work at 7. Work from 7 to 9 or 7 to 9:30. That's why you have dropshipping. Also suggest you work in the morning. So if you go to your job at 9, I would work from 6 to 8, whatever, and then take your car on the bus or whatever to your job. So whenever you have some kind of free time and you can build a routine and insert dropshipping, that's what I would do. It's much easier to stay disciplined if you have an actual routine around it, instead of just relying whenever you get a burst of motivation. And then tired, drink some fucking drinking coffee, man. Like there's no reason to be tired. It's in the mind. You can never be tired. Next question here. This is actually a very good question. I did 100K profit from organic. When should I switch to only FB ads and start doing FB ads? I would start doing it now. 100K profit from organic is amazing, but you're never gonna scale it to, or most likely not. You can, of course, with creators and stuff like that, but most likely you're not gonna be able to sustain making very good profit each month. Like it's, you know, organic is of course skill based, but it comes in cycles. So there will be 2 months you're not gonna be making any money, then all of a sudden you make 50K. But you divide those 50K out of those 3 months and you've made whatever 18K each month. With Facebook, it's much easier to get a consistent level of income each month. Of course, you have to have a system in place, you know, with creatives and products and stuff like that. There's a lot more work to get this up and running, like to a stable place, but it's actually doable with Facebook ads, where that's very difficult with organic. So I would say now you made 100K, you can easily invest 10, 20K back into your business, back into Facebook, buy a Facebook program, buy a Facebook mentorship, and you can learn Facebook ads very quickly because you have a very big advantage also over me. You are able to make very good videos. So you have actually an extra criteria for all your products. You can pick products that doesn't have very good content out there, that most likely doesn't have a lot of proof of concept because nobody's testing it, because there's not a lot of content out there. Because you can do the videos yourself. You can literally record the most amazing videos because you have that skill. So organic people has the biggest advantage over Facebook people because they know how to work really, really fucking hard. Most Facebook guys are very lazy because if they get a product that's running and it can run for a few months before it dies, like you don't have to do much for a few months if you find a really good product. But organic people, they can't do that. Like they have to post videos every single day. So that's where you have massive advantages over Facebook people. So yeah, I would just start doing it now. You will be, I'm very confident that if you did 100K profit from organic, you will be making very good money from Facebook ads very quickly. Another good question here, if after 1 year of organic, I didn't make any big money, should I try Facebook ads? If you didn't make any big money from 1 year on organic, I would still say you are in the allowed period where you shouldn't have made a lot of money yet. Because 1 year is not a lot of time. Of course, I would say if you haven't made any sales at all, you should probably reevaluate what you're doing. But after 1 year of not making big money, I don't see that as a failure yet. Like I just see you're still in your learning phase. Figure out how to go viral repeatedly and make sales from organic. So if I were you, after 1 year of having made any big money, I would right now lock the fuck in and do a 12-hour days, the most amount of work you can do every single day, test the most amount of products and really go crazy with it. Because if you do that and you build some momentum and you then hit a really good product and make some good money, switching back to Facebook. So no, I wouldn't suggest doing Facebook ads just yet. I would give it another really, really big shot at organic, and then make some money and then go to Facebook ads because Facebook ads is just better long term. Things to think about doing brands in the US. I'm currently 100K a month in the EU. Very nice, bro. That's very good. I mean, it's pretty much the same actually. Like I would say in the Europe market, you can get away with it being a little bit more lazy, where in the US, there's not a lot of room for mistakes. Like everything in your funnel, from product to offer to creatives, needs to be a little bit better than in the Europe market. The only thing I would suggest, if in the US market, at least from what I have seen, is if you pick products that either solves a problem or provide some kind of value for a customer, and you build a very cool mini brand around it when testing your product, that's the only thing I would really do different. Because in EU, at least from the products I've tested, I could pretty much make a lot of things work just with like almost a general store and some good ads. That was pretty much it. In the US, it's a little bit harder to get products running, but it is very doable. Just change a little bit we'll just make everything a little bit better, and that's it. How we can know if the video's going viral? I have no idea, I don't do organic. How do you do image ads on Facebook? I don't, my brother was doing them, but what he was doing was he was finding concepts that was working for other people in similar niches or similar products, and then he was recreating it with our product. So if you're doing some kind of beauty product, go on Ad Library, scroll through Ad Library in you know, with beauty keywords related to your product. See what kind of photo ads people are running, see if they have a lot of active ads, and replicate that. That's pretty much it. That was what he was doing, and we have replicated this for every single product, and it works well every single time. How's this product on Meta? Very good question. It's a little bit broad, but essentially find a product on Ad Library, Ring 100, or Instagram Burner that fits 4 different criteria: passion, niche, high perceived value, good creatives out there, and a 4th criteria, not saturated. It shouldn't be absolutely blown out of proportion. It shouldn't be like 100 advertisers, and it shouldn't be a product that you know by seeing it. Like, it should be a little bit surprising for you to see it, at least if you are in the dropshipping game. Holy shit, there's a lot of questions, guys. How long do you test a product with what budget? It depends on what the results I'm getting. Usually I let it run for 3 days, $100 a day minimum, sometimes 200 if the product is good. So between 100 to 200 a day for 3 days minimum. If the product is break even or profitable, I let it run and I try to optimize whatever is lacking. So I'm gonna analyze the entire funnel from the metrics on Facebook to the metrics on Shopify to my AOV, basically taking everything into consideration and seeing where can I improve the fastest and the best, optimize that, see if I can make it even more profitable, and then start to scale. So that's pretty much it. Like, you're just on Facebook, it's actually fairly quickly to get data quickly because Facebook is the best platform to run ads on. So you can run the product, you can see your metrics and all the data you're getting, you can analyze which metric is the lowest and your bottleneck of why you're not profitable. Change that, boom, you're profitable. It's not that easy, but in theory, that's how it is. Can you make a video on how to create a good creatives? Yes, I will. It's a long video I have to create because I am very proud of my creative skills. That's pretty much the only skill that I have in general with dropshipping. That's where I really shine through. So I'm gonna create one day, but I want it to be prepared very well, and I'm just gonna have some free time to really prepare a very long and detailed video because this is what I love. Like, this is why I love dropshipping. It's because of creative. Like, I pretty much hate everything else, you know, from product fulfillment and talking with, like, you know, handling customer support and with all these issues and running the store and stuff like that. I just like doing creatives. I fucking love it. I love to copyright and I love to make a banger creative that makes me money. Like, this is the most pleasant feeling in the world. So I will create a good video at one point, but it's gonna take some time. And then the most asked question by far, can I do a mentoring program? No, I don't enjoy teaching. I don't have time for it. I run my own stores and I have quite a lot of active stores right now. If you're interested in finding a mentor, I'll leave a link down below to Michael Bernstein. I joined this program back in 2022, found my first winner 3 months after, and now 2 years later, sitting in Cyprus right now looking at houses. So fairly good investment in my opinion. So that's it for this video, guys. I tried to answer most questions, but I couldn't fit it all in one video. It's gonna be fucking an hour long. But besides that, and I hope you learned something, good luck and see you soon.